Aloha and mahalo for joining me. I'm Janin. Thank you so much for being here. And today is 4th of July. And this is so cool that those of you that are watching in the US, and we get to live in a free country and where we have a voice. So I hope you're taking this time to be grateful and to celebrate all those that have fought for our freedom. So thank you again so much for being here. I know that, today is a Saturday, but I'm coming to you live because this is the end and I'm Janet Johnston, by the way, and we're coming to the end of Money Week. So all week from Monday till yesterday and now today, I want to just recap. We talked about money. I called it Money Week. But today I want to recap the things that I have talked about, and even in my interview all this week. And so on Monday, I talked about, let's do it this way. I talked about the four things that are the greatest stress for women when it comes to their finances. So that was on Monday, July 29th. So, excuse me, June 29th. So if you weren't able to watch that, please go back and watch that, because I did an interview. I did many interviews years ago, and I also surveyed a lot of women, dozens of women, about their finances. And so I talked about like the four greatest stresses. Okay. And then on Tuesday, I had an interview, or I interviewed a wonderful woman named Germaine Foley, and she lives in Michigan. And she has a business where she helps women with their finances, and she talked about some of the things that women struggle with, and the things that she teaches. That was such a great interview because there's so many things that happen when you're working with women and you're talking about money and all of that kind of stuff, because life gets in the way of important things like dealing with money. So go back and watch that. That was on Tuesday, June 30th, excuse me. I don't know what's going on with the dates today, but um, and then on Wednesday, I was supposed to interview my life insurance girl, and she works for a really large, I don't know if it's the number one or number two life insurance company in the US. But because of compliance issues, they advised her not to go on an interview because, they're concerned about what she might say or what I might ask, and if it's not, according to their guidelines. So what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna submit some questions to her and just have her answer it in a Word doc, and then later when she's done, I know she said she still has to get approval for that too, which is kind of crazy. So maybe we'll just talk about questions that have nothing to do with the company she works for. But as soon as she's done with answering those questions, then I can come back and talk about the questions and answers, because that's really fascinating. And I do recommend getting life insurance. Now, I'm nowhere near an expert at all on life insurance, and there's so much to understand, but I do recommend it because I talked about that on Wednesday, July 1st. So go back and watch that, because I talked a little bit about why it's important to have life insurance. Okay, and then on Thursday, I talked about an investment, okay, and an investment portfolio. And when you first hear that word, it's not what you think, right? Or it's not what I'm talking about when you hear that word, investment portfolio. But there's things I want you to put in there, and so go back and watch that. That was Thursday, July 2nd. Okay, and then yesterday, I talked about one more thing that I wanted you to put in your investment portfolio, and it has to do with 30 minutes a week. I talked about, you know, taking the time and scheduling in a week at least 30 minutes to take care of your finances. So watch that, because these are all things that I do and have done, and I know they work because I've helped other women with these things as well. And not to mention, I've worked in the bank a long, long time ago. So I know all of these things are crucial. They may not be fun things, they may not be an exciting thing to talk about, but they work, and it's important that you do them. And so today I wanted to do a recap, because if you can actually take the time and talk about your money and finances and get it under control, it's less likely that your money will control you. Because what I know to be true and what has happened is, if you don't manage your money, it will manage you. And if you don't control your money in a way that's healthy, it's going to control you in a way that's not healthy. Okay, now that's a truth that you can't deny, and that's a truth that I've seen over and over. Now, I'm not perfect in my dealings with money and finances, but when I've done crazy things with money, I realize, like, oh, okay, I'm not thinking straight right now. Maybe I'm upset about something and I spend more than I should have. But then, you know what? You just go back and you just try to fix it and do what you can do to, take care of the debt or whatever, right? There's always steps to take. It's never anything that's not fixable. Okay. But today's how can I say it? Today's investment that I want you to make into your investment portfolio is to try and figure out how you can save money every month. Because this is something that all people who teach about money and talk about money and to help you understand it will always tell you, you have to save money. There is just no way around it. And even now, with what's going on in the world with the pandemic, so many people have lost their jobs and they're out of work, and they don't have money. I don't know, of course, everyone's financial situation, but if you just watch the news, which I don't really recommend too much, but you see people standing in food lines and filing for unemployment. A lot of people are out of money. Now, I don't know if they've had a savings or, there's no way I could know any of that, unless, I interviewed every single person who's standing in a food line or, file for unemployment, which is impossible. But that's kind of beside the point, right? The point is that if you make an effort to save money and have it as a backup, just in case anything were to ever happen, like you lose your job, or if you have a spouse and your spouse loses your job, you have a little bit of a cushion. I don't know if you're saying, okay, yeah, well, I don't make enough money to save, or I'm not working right now, so there's no way I can save. But what I'm saying is that as soon as you're able, make an effort, like make that a first priority in what you do with your money. Okay, save it. Even if you have to save, or excuse me, if you're only able to save $5, which that may sound crazy, but $5 put on the side is better than no dollars. Okay, 5 is better than nothing, because over time it adds up. And then, if your finances get better, then you're more likely able to save more and more each month. But if you make it a priority and, write it down, tell yourself that as soon as you're financially able, you're going to start saving money. Because the worst thing that can happen is if you or your spouse loses a job, or if you have your own business and then all of a sudden your business comes to a screeching halt, like many millions of businesses have. That's the worst feeling in the world, when you don't have income coming in and you don't have a savings. Okay, it will definitely keep you up at night. It'll make you cry, and who knows what else. But if you have a little bit of cushion, you're less likely to have so much stress and anxiety. And, that's why I have you write down any money, income coming in, and all the money going out. Because when you know those numbers, you'll know how much money you're going to need to eventually save. Now, it's always good to have 6 months more, or 6 months to a year worth of savings. So like if your expenses per month, that you all the expenses you have to pay come out to, let's say, maybe $5,000, right? To the extreme. Some maybe more, some people their expenses are less. But let's just say if you have a total expenses of $5,000 a month, well, you may think that, okay, there's no way I'm going to be able to save, what is that? 30,000, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 30,000 or 3,000, excuse me. 3,000. Yeah, it is 30,000. Okay, it's early in the morning here, but there you might be thinking there's no way I can save that much money to be able to have a cushion. But you know what? If you actually care more about your security, as far as if anything were to happen, to have a backup plan, to have a savings, you're more likely to make that effort. Okay. Now, save what you can. It's not always possible right away to save money, or to save that specific amount that you would need. But my point is that make an investment in yourself, that you will, as soon as you possibly can, to start saving money and putting it in your investment portfolio. Okay. This investment, you want to diversify. You want to have as many things in that investment portfolio as possible. Okay. This investment is for you. You're investing in yourself because you're important and you have worth. So thank you so much for being here and listening to the things that I'm teaching and the things that are true. Okay, so please share this video. I would really appreciate it. There's more people who I want to help. But anyway, you do what you can. Take care of yourself, invest in yourself, and please go back and listen to all the other videos that I made this week, all the live videos. And take this moment for yourself, because when you take care of yourself, you can take care of your loved ones. And I thank you again for being here on this day. And I will be back on Monday. I won't see you tomorrow, but I'll be back on Monday to share more of the things that I know work with you. All right. Aloha.